How are things on the West Coast? I hear you moving real fine. You wear the
Interpol
shoes
doesn't,
like a dove.
to date, approach albums with a concept in mind. We just write songs, and then when we have enough songs for an album, we go to the studio and record a record. That's how it's been for the first 3 albums. I don't know, in future we might approach a record saying these are the goals we want to meet, or this is the approach we want to take, but so far it's just been a much more kind of natural, as my bandmate likes to say, organic kind of process that just comes from us playing together in a room, and when there's enough material we go record. And this album is different from the other ones just because we're better songwriters and we're better at what we do. But it's not because we approached writing this record with any, specific ideas in advance.
The song kind of dictates, how it should be aesthetically treated in terms of, how we're going to mix it and, how we want it to sound. But that's a process within itself, too. And, nothing could really be imposed on it. It really kind of has to present itself.
Take your heart, and I don't want a piece of history. No, I don't want to read your thoughts anymore.
This record does sound a little different because typically we have Carlos, the bass player, will write keyboard parts for the songs, but he was doing those in the past kind of later in the game after the song had been written by just the 4 of us with our guitars and drums. This time around we had a computer set up and a sequencer and a pretty vast keyboard system, and Carlos was able to be composing keyboard arrangements while we were writing the songs.
It's funny, I don't think you can really anticipate what anybody's going to want, because there is that faction of people that want you to change face every record and just reinvent yourself. And then there's the other group that does not want you to change. There's a whole, set of kids. It's like, oh, I hope this record's more like Bright Lights. It just, you can, if you're going to try to please anybody but yourself, you're going to fail.
We just wanted to do something with nature for the design, and we met this photographer who had some shots that were similar to what we wound up using, and then we had him go back out and shoot what we have for the album. And what it means is, I don't know, it means what it means. It's a gazelle being eaten by lions. And then you juxtapose that with this title, I Love to Admire, and then that means a whole other batch of new, strange things. But the fact that it has that sort of vibrant resonance of sort of meaning is what makes it perfect.
Want a taste of victory? No, I don't want to read your thoughts anymore.
We had to break to write an album. People always seem to think that we write on the road, and it's kind of far from it. We're too busy learning the new songs that we have to play at sound checks. I guess it was at the end of, it was October '05 was the last show for touring the Antics album. Took 3 months off and then went in to our rehearsal studio and locked ourselves away for 10 months to write this record. So that explains the break, which really wasn't a break for us.
When we rehearsed to go out on the road for this touring that we've just done, it was old songs would be 3 takes and they'd be sort of stage ready. It was you just don't forget how to play your own songs. I mean, you do for the first take. It can be pretty hairy, but they come back real quick.
And the touring experience, I think we're a lot more level-headed this time around, and kind of really know what and what not to expect, and I think, kind of going out as a new band and, being faced with all that's available, in terms of, after the show, the rock and roll party, everybody takes a visit every now and again, but I think this time around for every individual involved, it's way more about, playing the actual show and really kind of doing the new album and the older material justice on stage. So we're just a lot more informed this time and ready to go out and actually play. Hey, we're Interpol and you're watching UGO.com.
I said,